Soulful means something that's heartfelt, deep and profound. To journey means to travel from one place to another. This show is about deep and heartfelt discussions about where we are, where we're headed, and where we've been. It's a place where we highlight memorable moments we've had. This show is about everything and everyone that is good for the soul.
Welcome to another episode of Soulful Journey. I am your host, Venus Jones. I am a peak performance coach. I am an author and also known as a poet. And we like to take a deep breath always at the beginning of every episode, just so we can remember what's really, really good for the soul, and that is mindfulness. So if you'll take a deep breath with me, please do. And just think about someone you might want to send loving kindness to, and maybe that person is yourself today. So if we can just take a deep breath and focus on that breath. Feel yourself breathing in and feel yourself breathing out, without trying to control your pattern of relax your shoulders and relax your jaw. And notice how every breath is different from the next. It is the same with life. Ever changing, ever evolving. And whatever is going through your mind right now, you can let it slip away. And just for this moment, we can come back to harmony. Because you are safe. You are accepted. You are forgiven. And you are loved. Namaste. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for joining me today as we talk about something that is so dear to me, and that is first impressions. Why is that dear to me? Well, dear to me because it's been the story of my life, is the importance of a first impression. And I was told this. I feel like it's been part of my success. And I was told this long time ago, that you only get one time to make a good first impression. And I was doing some research for you today. And I found out that we all only get 7 seconds. Can you believe it? 7 seconds. Somebody already might have tuned in already. They was gone after they saw that mindfulness and didn't register with them, whatever. That's okay. Who is for us is for us, right? Somebody might have ran as soon as they saw me doing some mindfulness. But the point is that we only get 7 seconds to make a first impression with someone. People judge you so quickly. And I want forgiveness today, because the truth is, I am no saint. You know, my motto is always divine, but that's because I'm working on it. But I too judge people. My husband can tell you, Steve will tell you all day long. That's another show though. We're gonna talk about perfectionism. But how did I get like this? How did I get like this? I got like this because of the world that we live in, right? And being a Black woman in America means that I was told I'm not allowed to show up any kind of way. So this week, I like to come to you every week with something that I was like, had to step back on it. And I'm late to the party. I found out about a month ago, Monique put out something. Monique is a comedian who had said something about young people walking around who happen to look like me in the airport with bonnets on their head and slippers and pajamas. And it went like, people went crazy, because the question is, does first impressions still matter? And do they matter also? I want to talk about online. Because what was so funny about the point that she was making, while she was making this point about first impressions and how she wants young people to, put their best foot forward no matter where they are. She was dressed in like a robe in her house. And that's something I've never done. I've never been like too lax. I did my hair today, even right before that, I was like, okay, let me even as if y'all can smell me. I was like, let me jump into the shower, right? Even though you can't smell me, you can't smell the stank. But I was like looking at this, like this is a public forum. But what's really real in during this pandemic, as it's coming to possibly a close, we give thanks. For some of us, others it's not. But as we go in and out of this idea of what is public, I just want to put that out for you. I want to ask you the question: do you think being online? Do you think that like somebody who doesn't know me, if this is the first image of me, if they saw me in a bathrobe robe online, do you think that is a first impression even online? What do you think? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Like, do you think our public personas online are just as important as when you go out in the public? I'm just curious what you think. Do you think that it's important? Okay, Rail says yes. Anybody else? Okay. And I know Rail would say yes. Let me tell you why, because Rail is a good friend of mine. He is a loyal follower, and I give thanks. I noticed with a lot of his posts, he always has on a suit, right? He always has on a suit. And Steve weighed in, yes, definitely online first impressions are important. Okay, so I'm not the only one that thinks that. Okay, because he has on a suit when he's doing his, a lot of times when he's doing his presentation. But I also noticed that sometimes he's relaxed a little bit. And I've decided to relax a little bit too, because I'm still trying to, during the pandemic, we had so much grace from. And that's what I give thanks about the pandemic, is that a lot of people were giving people grace, because before they would make Steve, my husband had shown me a video of how people were making fun of this man who came in. He was on an interview online, and his little child, like years ago, his little child came in and was marching around, and it was so embarrassing for him because he had this quote unquote professional image, and he wanted to like keep that image. And as if professionals don't have children, but it was like the time and the place, right? So my point is that when we have these images that we're trying to protect, it can leave no room though for you being a human. And that's what I love, is that things have like relaxed a bit, I feel, when it comes to images online and how you present yourself and how you might be greeted with a little bit more love than judgment. But at the same time, from what I found, it's still important to make sure that you have good lighting. If you notice, I have like a ring light here. So those of you who are one day hoping to, be influential, make sure you have the light in front of you. You want to make sure you are dressed in the part. And whatever that means is like dress to who you're talking to. Like the audience is what matters most. And we're not going to be for everybody, but whoever you're speaking to, and those people that was that Monique was calling out, maybe they were trying to, the people in those airport, maybe they was trying to attract more people who like bonnets. Maybe they were advertising a bonnet for it. I know that's probably not the case, but you get my point, right? You want to dress who you're talking to. Or I was also told, like, dress at the position that you want. And sometimes that position is the CEO, and CEOs sometimes they look a certain way. Now, a member of my family who was wealthy, right, on the other side of my family, he was very wealthy. Most people who knew him well knew he was wealthy, but guess what? He never dressed in a suit. So he never dressed in a suit. He never, wore something that you would think wealthy people would wear. And I always thought, like, why is that? I was wondering. I want y'all to type in the chat why you think that might be. Why do you think a wealthy person might be in disguise? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because just like we judge the poor, sometimes we judge the wealthy. And I love that someone wrote, he didn't value that stuff. Just because you might have a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you value fashion. So I love that you put that in the chat, because that's true. Like, you may not value, so your values kind of show up. And I think I could say this better. I used to be, and the reason why image is important to me too is like I introduced myself, for those who don't know me, as a peak performance coach. Because when you're at that peak performance level, you're always ready. And when you're trying to impress somebody on the job, there's certain times when you do want to be dressed your best, and that is usually a job interview. And you don't know who you're going to run into. So there's this one story where I remember I was in college, and a good friend of mine, he ran into Spike Lee, and he was a potential filmmaker, and Spike, was asking him, if he had a resume, because he was talking all this stuff, and he didn't have one. But sometimes your dress can be your resume too. It can be your portfolio, because you're showing up at your best. And it's I hate it that people my Spike might have took him more seriously if he had on a suit and he didn't have his resume. But that's just it. This is the way the world is. And I say, hey, young world, if you stay ready though, you don't know who's tuning into your show. You don't know who is who needs that seven seconds to really make sure that you care about who you are. So one thing I do agree with her is on that if you see yourself as somebody who represents an entire group of people like I do, that's another reason why I do my best to show up A1A. That's what I do, because I feel like I'm representing an entire group. Now, some people say, who you trying to impress? We don't care about what white people think, right? And I feel you on that too, because we already had Obama. You can't go higher than that. And if a white supremacist or somebody who's racist don't see your value, they never gonna see it after that. And that's real too. But when I show up, one of the reasons why as an actress, I would land the part is because I dressed the part. Let me say that again though. Another reason why I beat out a lot of the competition is because I dressed the part. Because even in the roles that I was playing, or, I had to think about, again, who am I trying to attract? And some people want to be called queens, like Monique said, but they're not dressing like a queen. Or they want to be seen in a certain light, but they're not dressing that way. But I'm about to flip the script on you, because I was came from the entertainment industry, where we knew the power of images. It made me. There was a while where I would never wear. I guess it wasn't just because I used to be a former actress, but it's also because I actually, as a poet, I'm about to read a poem, but as a poet. Poets see the world a little differently. We're always observing, but so are actors. Actors like to observe too. That's why, because we're studying humanity, right? We're studying the common humanity. And there's a song that says, what if God was one of us? So this poem had me thinking about that song. And so I'll just say, and this is before, and it also gives a shout out to a famous Black actor who also cared a lot about image until his image was totally tarnished. But he had a show called I Spy, and that's the title of this poem. It's called I Spy, because I think I can explain myself a little bit better through this poem of the flip. I spy like Bill Cosby, because I can. For the next man or the next woman, barefaced, let my makeup go. Take off my wrap, let my hair flow. I want to see if you really see. Can you really see into the soul of me? Because you see the smile. Can you see the smile if I'm poor? Will my smile be able to open a door? If I pick out my fro, will you still say hello? Am I dignified and sweet? Can we still meet and greet? Let my locks grow when they hang low. Do I look dirty? Do I look neat? Do I look like an author? Am I wanted by the feds? I rock a designer purse. Am I digging gold in your head? Feeling sexy in my red lips and mini skirt. Do I look like I take fees? Do I look like I flirt? Straight blonde or black wig, both of them you seem to dig. Push-up bra and eyes perfectly lined. Bold and beautiful. Is every image fine? I'm taking notes to see what persona gets through. I'm taking notes to see who really matters to you. Am I free to make money without high heels? Do I need straight hair to land big deals? Because it's the whole truth that I'm grasping. If all Black lives matter, are we done masking? We all wear the mask from Beyonce to Cher. Yet their image consultants reinvent the vessel with flair. Each vision bright like a one-named star. But are those clothes borrowed? Did they lease that car? I'm still spying on you when I'm formal with my dress or bumming. Because if God was one of us, would you see her coming? Yes. Okay. All right. Somebody said yes, they would see. They would see. Because really, again, because of my faith, I don't know a stranger. And that's another reason is I'm always looking, and I'm always looking for that twinkle in the eye, no matter what the person is wearing. But at the same time, I want you to remember that first impressions matter. That first impressions matter, young woman, young man, young shero, young hero. So again, make sure you know that people are always watching. And I just want you to think about if this message is still not landing, I want you to think about like when you come to a restaurant, and a restaurant that you really want to patronize. If you see like there's like there's smudges on the window, when you walk in the door, they hardly greet you. And it doesn't smell good. Well, I want you to see yourself like a business. That's you. That's how some people see you. And that's why it's so important. So to make sure you have a good bio in your online presence, make sure that you representing yourself as much as you can, like a business, because that's one of the secrets to my success. And I know I have so much to learn still, but I'm just trying to share a little bit of what I know already. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So somebody said, real talk. Okay. Yes, real talk. And I appreciate you. So that is one of the things, the main things I want to talk about with first impressions. And the last point I want to make is some of us don't feel good when we wake up. And, I've struggled with, anxiety and depression, mild depression myself over the years. So if you don't feel good and you're like, man, I don't feel like dressing up, especially if I'm home, I don't even turn my camera on. I don't want to do all of that. Okay. I hear you. But guess what? Did you know there's a such thing like color therapy? One of my favorite colors is green. And I found out today, as I was prepping for this show, is that one of the other things that's good for your soul is just to wear your favorite color. If you can wear your favorite color, the psychology around that is that it can really like boost, your endorphins, and it can make you feel better about how you face the day, and it's just gonna make you feel good. So that's why look into it. Find out more about representing the chakra that you're dealing with. and repping the color that makes you feel good, because every color does symbolize different things as well. And that is why you may not know this, but there's been studies that people who wear blue are considered more trustworthy. That's why some people, I remember somebody once told me, like, when I'm going to a job interview, to wear blue. And I never forgot that. And who wears blue? The men in blue. Some say that's one of the reasons why that, again, it's the association to those who trust the police and people in uniform. A lot of times, military form, that's the color. Like, you wear your blues, and that's just scientific, cognitive stuff. But I just wanted to share that with you as well. And I guess this is it for me for today. I got you a poem, and I am going to give a shout out to Bob McNeil, who I know it might be watching for the first time, and shout out to the Harlem Book Fair. If you all haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you check out the Harlem Book Fair. If you have more questions and you want help with your personal image, make sure you visit venusjones.com and set up an appointment with me. We'll talk about. I'd love to be able to help you in any way. So that's it. Unless there's any questions. Can we hear another poem? Oh, okay. Ha. I see. Someone was really wants to hear another poem. I'd be happy to share another poem. Let me all right. So thank you for that. Let me share one more poem then with you. This is a poem that I want to share. I gotta think. What do I want to share right now? I'm wondering, the moon. We'll do this quick one. Harvesting the fall, even though it's the summer. The moon's been pretty moody these days, hanging out in low places in an orange dress. Orange symbolizes something too. Look that up. She's a spectacle, harvesting the fall like that. I think that's a perfect poem I turn to. So that's what's real. What are you harvesting? Whatever you reap, you will sow. And I give thanks for that. My name is Venus Jones. This has been your soulful journey for the week. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, never ever hesitate to share them with me. Soulful Journey is growing, and I'm just so happy that you would tune in and spend some time with me. So I give thanks, and I wanted to say, last but not least, keep looking up and keep looking out. When you do, there's a lot less fear and there's a lot less doubt. Don't forget to wear your smile.